West Hartford Public Schools is home to 2,618 elementary students in kindergarten through grade 3. We have 11 elementary schools, 5 that are designated as Title I, and 6 schools that are part of the Open Choice program, welcoming students that reside in Hartford. West Hartford has 139 classrooms in kindergarten through grade 3 with an average of 35 classroom sections in each grade. Our families speak over 70 languages, and 15 to 20% of our students in kindergarten through grade 3 have received at least one cycle of Tier 2 or 3 literacy intervention. 19% of our students across the district are identified with special needs. Our leaders engage in strategic planning and reflection on systemic coherence, making sure our curriculum, assessment, and instructional strategies have a clear focus. We invest in collaborative professional learning structures in places that support our teachers and leaders in utilizing student data-informed decision-making. Our K-3 comprehensive literacy curriculum reflects our commitment to high-quality teaching and learning, a belief in equitable education, and we implement our vision of the graduate to guide systemic alignment across our many schools.
Our comprehensive core curriculum has a clear scope and sequence that addresses all areas of literacy development. Each unit includes 3 to 4 teaching points and related learning targets that focus instruction. Key academic and content vocabulary are identified in each unit. Our students have opportunity to learn and practice fluency skills within foundations lessons and small group instruction using increasingly more complex texts. Social studies and social emotional learning concepts are also integrated within 2 units at each grade to support reading comprehension through knowledge building. Our curriculum is implemented within a 90-minute literacy block each day. Students have the opportunity to learn in both whole group and small group learning environments. Teachers across the district utilize core instructional resources during the literacy block. In the next portion of this video, you will see and hear how these core resources are implemented by teachers in the classroom.
Foundations is an essential resource for our students' development of foundational literacy skills. Wilson Foundations is used by teachers in grades K to 2 for 30 minutes per day of explicit structured literacy instruction for all students. Grade 3 teachers will implement Foundations Level 3 next year. Students are building a progression of skills that support both their decoding and encoding of text.
Kindergarten and grade 1 teachers use the Hegarty Phonemic Awareness curriculum for 10 minutes each day.
This curriculum, which includes 35 weeks of explicit phonemic awareness lessons, supports our students in developing the language development skills they need as they begin to read. As a reading specialist who supports teachers with curriculum implementation and professional learning, I've noticed that teachers find the Hegarty curriculum to be impactful yet easy to use. As a 10-minute daily lesson, teachers can flexibly use this curriculum during their literacy block or at any point during the day.
Each curriculum unit includes identified mentor texts, including access to digital texts that support knowledge-building comprehension for all learners, including multilingual learners and students achieving below grade level and their access to grade level texts. These content-aligned materials are used for interactive read aloud, small group instruction, independent reading, and fluency practice. They're accessible to teachers in school-wide book rooms, school libraries, and classrooms.
Small group instruction happens during the second portion of our literacy block for 1 hour each day. During small group time, I work with a small group of students on targeted foundational literacy skills and strategies I've identified through benchmark assessments and ongoing progress monitoring. While I'm working with a small group, the other students are applying their learning through fluency, word reading practice, retelling, and independent reading of texts.
To develop fluency, our students engage in individual and small group fluency practice using decodable texts as well as fiction and nonfiction texts aligned with each of our curriculum units. Students have opportunities to develop fluency with contextualized texts, texts that align with their content area knowledge. Students also work to develop fluency with decontextualized texts that are less content specific, such as decodables that use CVC and other word patterns. Each school has a robust and organized book room for teachers to select texts. These books help students develop proficiency in reading progressively complex texts with speed, accuracy, and expression. These text sets are also available to reading interventionists working with students in Tier 2 and 3 literacy intervention support.
Our students have opportunities to build vocabulary through a variety of evidence-based strategies. Teachers model vocabulary building strategies through reading shared texts. Students also engage in shared reading with partners.
We know that frequency of word exposure and rereading texts are important to building comprehension and vocabulary. So I teach academic vocabulary words with intentionality, incorporating oral and written language into teaching and learning in all content areas. For example, in a grade 2 social studies and reading integrated unit, we focus on people who make a difference. Students compare and contrast multiple texts about children and adults who make a difference. I use mentor texts to model explicit instruction on target words and their meaning as my students learn about concepts of identity, community, and justice. Within that unit, I also teach my students academic or Tier 2 vocabulary, including author's purpose and text features such as headings and captions. Our curriculum and my instructional strategies build my students' vocabulary and knowledge in context.
West Hartford's comprehensive core elementary reading curriculum was initially developed following the adoption of the Connecticut core standards. As a district leadership team, we realized it was critical to have a district-wide vision for effective curriculum design to frame our curriculum documents. We utilized the rigorous curriculum design model with the support of national consultant Larry Ainsworth and engaged teams of teachers from all schools and grade levels to unpack the standards, develop essential questions, and create key teaching points. To be budget conscious, we used previously purchased literacy program materials as anchor texts and shared texts to support small group instruction. However, these curriculum materials were framed as part of our curriculum's larger essential questions. In our creation of new curriculum, we realized that developing a curriculum framework and purchasing new materials is not a one-and-done situation. We established a vertical team structure representing all grade levels and buildings across the district. This served to foster engagement and stakeholder buy-in. We use summer curriculum work as well as release time for curriculum development and revision over time. Over the past 5 years, we have continued to refine and monitor our curriculum and instructional practice, attending to shifts in social studies and science state standards, as well as the implications of the science of reading research. For example, we embedded the Wilson Foundations program as part of our core Tier 1 curriculum. This reflected a self-identified need for more explicit, structured literacy instruction in K-2 foundational literacy skills.
To support our implementation process, we utilize both district-wide and school-based professional learning structures.
In West Hartford, we're fortunate to have weekly Wednesday early release time called CSI, which stands for Curriculum and Staff Improvement. This is a 2-hour time scheduled throughout the school year for either district-wide or school-based professional learning, or self-directed teacher learning series. These sessions are facilitated by district literacy leaders and other department leaders, school-based reading specialists, and principals. Over the past 3 years, ESOL teachers and special educators have also participated in reading-focused professional learning when feasible. In initial implementation of our literacy curriculum, we alternated new curriculum implementation over the course of 3 years. For example, we implemented new integrated curriculum in grades K and 2 in the first year, and then in grades 1 and 3 in the subsequent year. Our initial implementation process provided 2 different formats for professional learning. In the first session, we facilitated a whole group grade level review of curriculum, learning targets, pacing guides, and instructional resources. In the subsequent session, teacher leaders facilitated small group discussions with grade level teachers from 2 or 3 schools. These cycles of professional learning built trust among teams who provided feedback for our curriculum implementation process and content. Teachers also had opportunities during weekly PLCs to plan and use new curriculum, review student work, and revisit high-leverage instructional strategies.
To encourage buy-in in our learning community, teachers are both engaged in implementation and revision processes and also provide feedback. Facilitators and district curriculum leaders respond to teacher recommendations and questions as teachers begin to implement new curriculum. Each curriculum unit has a family letter describing its learning targets. As we have over 70 languages spoken at home, we send home communications regarding curriculum through translatable Google Documents or digital communications such as Seesaw and S'more. Our district website also includes detailed descriptions of grade-level curriculum.
As part of our comprehensive curriculum implementation, we administer and analyze results from Ames Web Plus literacy assessments, as well as Progress Monitor data at all tiers to support instruction. Implementation of this district-wide benchmark assessment helps us to gauge the impact of our curriculum and our interventions to reduce disparities in student literacy achievement. As a building reading specialist, I support our literacy leadership team, classroom teachers, and the students to administer these assessments 3 times each year in the fall, winter, and spring. We meet as a leadership team and within grade level PLCs to analyze student data and determine student needs. Through grade level PLCs, our student support team process, and individual teacher coaching, we focus on high leverage strategies to accelerate student learning.
In West Hartford, we believe that teaching and learning is a process of continuous improvement. Our core reading curriculum is detailed and comprehensive. However, we recognize that revision over time is also critical. West Hartford has a 5-year pre-K-12 curriculum review process that engages district leaders, reading specialists, ESOL educators, and curriculum leaders in reviewing and recommending strategic actions to ensure that our curriculum is aligned to grade level standards, provides clear guidance to instructional practice and assessment aligned to our vision of the graduate and research-based literacy practices, is vertically aligned across the elementary grades to ensure a continuum of learning for all of our students. Our reading curriculum has been revised over the past 5 years based on our learning about the science of reading and the need to enhance knowledge building through integration with social emotional learning and social studies.
As a grade 2 teacher, I was part of a curriculum team that updated our literacy curriculum to integrate literacy learning with our second step SEL social studies standards and our district equity policy and goals. For example, one of our grade 2 integrated units is about people who make a difference. Our students learned about young people who found something in their world that needed changing and took the steps to not only ask questions, but create solutions and make changes in their communities. Students learn through these real examples about standing up for others and using their voice to make a difference, even at a young age. Our kindergarten units are in the process of being revised with kindergarten teacher teams to include purposeful play opportunities. Having teachers as core members of curriculum teams is important to implementing and revising a comprehensive curriculum. My voice, as a teacher representative of colleagues working with children every day, matters in our curriculum design, implementation, and revision process in West Hartford.
Within the West Hartford curriculum, students have access to a wide range of texts that reflect their identities and serve as anchor texts in our curriculum units. Library media specialists have informed the curation process in collaboration with the district curriculum team. West Hartford has also collaborated with community members, including Mohegan Tribal Elders, our district's Equity and Diversity Committee, the West Hartford African American Social and Cultural Organization, and other community and school-based parent groups. Our partnership with these community stakeholders informs our curriculum integration, expands our mentor and anchor text sets, and promotes student learning experiences.
With implementation of our comprehensive core curriculum, we have observed areas of success in both teaching and student learning.
Our successes for students are evident in several areas. Our students have demonstrated increased proficiency on our Ames Web Plus benchmark assessments, even with interrupted learning from COVID. For example, 62% of our current 3rd grade cohort in winter of their kindergarten year reached proficiency on the composite score. But these same students now in 3rd grade achieved 86% proficiency this winter. We observe similar rates of growth among all cohorts and have fewer and fewer students we need to support through the tiers. We attribute student growth and foundational literacy skills to strong instructional practice rooted in a comprehensive curriculum and supportive intervention structures. Throughout their grade K-3 experience, Continuity of learning experiences and instructional routines allows them to more easily focus on new learning. Instead of working hard to adapt to a different teacher's routines and practices, students are ready to go with each new year.
With implementation of our comprehensive core curriculum, we observe many areas of success for our educators. First, all West Hartford educators have a common core curriculum aligned to standards across grades K through 3 that are accessible to all teachers through the shared curriculum platforms. When planning and teaching, educators are assured they are addressing all 5 areas of foundational literacy through our curriculum and instructional resources. West Hartford educators have the resources they need to ensure equitable educational experiences for their students across all of our 11 elementary schools. Additionally, West Hartford educators have common assessments, both benchmark and within units, that support their collaborative discussions and actions with grade-level PLCs. Finally, our educators are a vital part of our curriculum design, implementation process, professional learning, and SRBI structures. Teachers have voice and agency in decision-making for the district and their students.
West Hartford has identified 3 areas of curriculum focus for the upcoming school year to enhance our comprehensive core curriculum.
First, we will enhance our current integrated units to further support knowledge-building comprehension. The integration of science topics aligned to the NGSS standards showcases our commitment to knowledge building. Our revised units will engage our students in science, social studies, and SEL content. In kindergarten, we will strategically infuse play-based learning opportunities into the curriculum. Developmentally appropriate practices that encourage student inquiry will directly align with the content and support student oral language development. Our second area of focus is also related to enhancing knowledge-building comprehension. Through our revision process, teams of teacher leaders will select anchor texts with intentionality. Over the course of a unit, students and teachers will closely read and interact with text across the genres. These texts will not only support a consistent interactive read-aloud model, but anchor student learning in both content and literacy. This area of focus promotes speaking and listening activities that ensure consistent, robust knowledge-building collaboration and discussion rooted in grade-level texts. Finally, we will implement Foundations Level 3 and 3rd grade for consistency in foundational literacy learning across our early grades curriculum.
Reducing disparities in achievement among all students is a critical area of focus for West Hartford and all school districts in the years ahead. We are committed to reducing disparities in achievement through a coherent, collaborative approach to curriculum design and implementation, through data analysis and strategic literacy leadership at the district and school level.